Story 1. Update: Am I the a-hole for being upset that my wife will miss her first anniversary for a bachelorette party? Original post. The woman my wife is missing our anniversary for hates me because I drove a wedge in their friendship, since my wife obviously spends a large chunk of her time with me. I also see through her bullying BS and do not have patience for her. Anytime my wife tries to include this friend in her plans, the friend whines about nearly everything. Yesterday she was car sick when we had to drive an hour and a half to and from the place we went as she sat in the back. She tried to solve the problem by eating potato chips and 2 cans of soda, only to keep complaining she felt sick. She was clearly hinting I should have been the one sitting in the back. But I'm recovering from an injury and the extra room in the passenger seat is helpful. She made very obnoxious digs into my home country and background to the point where I almost took the train home, leaving my wife with her friends. Living in a new country has already been exhausting. Having to hear things like that from my wife's friend wasn't pleasant. My wife didn't stand up for me against a friend, which hurt my feelings. We spoke at length last night and today about it, agreeing I would never go out with this friend again. My wife also said that it was only a matter of time before the friendship ended because she couldn't deal with the negativity and self-centered attitude anymore. On to the problem. April 17th is our first anniversary. My wife is the maid of honor at her wedding and got to choose when the bachelorette party is. She chose the week of our first anniversary, meaning we would be flying home from my home country to a very private getaway. I had planned on her anniversary and my wife would leave me that night to go to this bachelorette weekend. I'm upset because my wife knew when our anniversary was. She knows this friend doesn't like me at all, and the friend has made digs and comments about my wife getting married before her. I understand my wife is between a rock and a hard place, but I'm tired of having to be understanding at the expense of my feelings over the friend. Edit 1. I don't know why everyone is dragging my wife. I have said several times this woman is a bully. Have you never had a friend who is clearly friends with a bully? It's a hard place to be in, especially when the bully has been a friend for nearly 20 years. I have seen my wife interact with this friend and be mentally drained continuously. Now it's a toxic relationship, and those aren't things that are easy to get out of. I have been in a fair few myself, so it's not as simple as she needs to block her. Edit 2. I just had a very long discussion with my wife and explained my feelings. She is ending the friendship with the woman after the other woman in the car's birthday party in a week, so there isn't a fallout. She said her own anxiety about the situation was clouding her judgment and making me feel how I did isn't what she wants at all. I'm an action speaks louder than words sort of person, so we'll see what happens, but she was heartbroken and worried I was going to start the conversation with a divorce. Now for some comments before reading the update. Not a hole, you should be hurt and upset about this. This is at least a couple of times where she's chosen this friend over her husband, and that's not cool at all. Your first anniversary needs to be more important to her and given a higher priority than some ladies' party. If it's not, you two are going to have a very limited number of anniversaries. I'm definitely hurt. There isn't much I can do in this situation though. Not a whole wait. Your wife chose the date and decided on the week of her anniversary. How is this the fault of her obnoxious friend? No, your wife, for unknown reasons, did this all on her own. She is not between a rock and a hard place. She intentionally decided to mess up your anniversary plans. Why? Only she knows. Why are you still going on a private getaway when your wife is leaving you to go party with friends? Stop being tired of your wife prioritizing her friend and stand up for yourself. Your wife is just placating you with the whole ending the friendship BS. Not only are you not as important as the friend, but your first anniversary isn't either. Can you cancel and get your money back? What's the point of going if you won't be together the entire time? You can stay home and be alone. Happy anniversary. Not the a-hole. Your wife is the a-hole for prioritizing her toxic friend's feelings over yours. When you marry someone, you have to make some hard choices. You need to have a good speech with your wife because her behavior is not what you'll expect from a loyal and loving wife. I'd be extremely pissed to say the least. Now for the update. Update. There were many discussions and disagreements leading up to her ending the friendship. Things would grate at me that my wife was still going along with the friendship for the sake of her other friend and their friendship triangle birthday party. Every day it was like I was more annoyed because she still hadn't even defended me to the friend. She cared less about me and how I felt in her country when she knows how much I miss mine. She knew she needed to end it anyway and said losing her relationship wasn't an option. After a bit of prying, it was clear how psychotic she thinks her friend is. My wife believes her friend will key her car, show up to the house, and cause problems, drag all the other friends involved into it. It all came to a head when I told her I was not returning to her country from mine. We're back in mine for a Christmas thing with my family. If the friendship was still intact, she ended the friendship 2 days later after the friend called me a racist towards the very large white 85% majority of her country. I am white. As expected, the friend has started to go off the rails. So far it's been excessive phone calls, texts. A friend tried to text me and apologize for her comments to salvage anything with my wife, but I had changed my number a week prior. The apology was something along the lines of, "Sorry if what I said hurt your feelings, but your words hurt mine." What I said had just pointed out my frustration with lived experiences from the new country every day. Friendship is over, wife is worried ex-friend will key her car. She is genuinely fearful of this ex-friend. We will be installing another camera as soon as we get home that only points to her car. I doubt this is the last update. We actually booked a vacation for our first-year anniversary. Story 2. Update. Am I the a-hole for saying that I would never have chosen my husband as the father of my child? Original post: I, 37, female, and my husband, Liam, 30, male, have 2 children. I'm currently pregnant with our third and last. Liam is a wonderful husband and a fantastic father. I was out at brunch with a few friends of mine and was telling them a funny story about my cravings and how Liam had made a cake from scratch for it. A friend of a friend, Paige, said that I chose so well and that she should have put as much thought as I did in choosing him. I have a reputation for being really thorough and thinking things out before doing anything, the responsible one. I told her that I never would have chosen Liam to be the father of her first child, but I am so grateful he was. I was very lucky. Our pre-marriage life was messy. I was with another man, Dave. Dave was a steady, reliable man, and we had been together for years. Dave made a new friend. He was Liam, and I could not help but absolutely hate him. According to him, Liam made Dave feel young again, and he was desperate to reclaim the sense of youth he lost by being responsible since he was young. He spent all of his time with Liam and the other bros. Dave would spend every night out partying until 2 or 3 a.m. He spent his entire paycheck and some of my paychecks on wrestling videos and online gambling. He bought a motorcycle. He used her savings to buy crypto. He shaved his head bald. The last straw was him spending $20,000 of savings to travel. Throughout this, Liam was incredibly disrespectful to me. Dave broke up with me when I asked him to stop hanging out with Liam and his other friends. I immediately moved in with a girl I had concerns about. I felt deeply hurt, and for the first time in my life, I felt like hurting someone in return. I was miserable, out of my mind, and called Liam over. I wanted to ruin their friendship like he ruined my relationship. He was annoyed at Dave for something else and was down for anything. I woke up the next morning realizing that I made a huge mistake, but it was incredible. Unfortunately, my bad decision caught up to me and I got pregnant. Ironic since I always wanted children, but I was told I was infertile. Both Liam and I were against children out of wedlock, and we had a small wedding. I was ready to grit my teeth and make the best of our marriage, but surprisingly Liam turned out to be an incredible partner and father. If it was a mistake, it was the best mistake of my life. Paige was very offended that I said Liam wouldn't have been my choice initially. She said it was making myself superior. She said that she lost respect for me and would never talk to me again. She also messaged Liam to tell him what I said. Was what I said really that bad? Edit. I should probably be more clear, but I am a lot more unfiltered on Reddit than here. I said that while we knew each other before, Liam was basically a one-night thing, which is true. My other friends know the truth because a few of them were there when it all unfolded. Dave was furious at first, which is understandable, but we are cordial to each other and did not get my money back, unfortunately. Now for the update. I got a lot more attention on my post than I thought. Long story short, Paige apologized for overstepping and we are all good now. Paige reached out to me. She was having a rough time in her own relationship and situation and felt I was being ungrateful. I accepted her apology. However, I don't expect us to have a close friendship in the future. I also checked up on Liam. As I've said before, I adore my husband and do not want him to feel bad. I asked him if he felt hurt by what I said. He says yes, and he was deeply offended and I should make up for it with 1,000 kisses plus interest starting right now. The worst thing in my life right now is my baby kicking in my ribs. I miss being able to breathe without a foot in my organs. Several people have questioned how I got the reputation of being thoughtful when I made really bad personal decisions. Honestly, I'm fiscally responsible, organized, and all around a prepared person. But I am dependent on having a stable, boring wife, and was unequipped to have my personal life fall apart. If I think back to what I was like 10 years ago, I had a good amount of savings, a comfortable career, and close friends. I also had a fiancé who I had been with for years and who had changed into a person I no longer recognized, someone who lied to me, stole from me, and cheated on me. Liam actually was the one who called me after Dave broke up with me. He told me about how Dave had lied to him and used him. And lies and was with the other woman. I was still in shock. He came over to give me some things that Dave had left at his apartment in case it was mine. Some of it was mine, some of it was Dave's trash. I sobbed and blamed him, and he took it and apologized. He kissed me. I said I wanted to ruin his life like he ruined mine. Liam saw Dave as his best friend. He also had trust issues, so lying was off the table. Their friendship was really ruined, but I didn't use protection. I had been told I was infertile. My previous 2 partners, my old boyfriend and Dave, never got me pregnant after years. I was ignorant and wasn't told that infertile doesn't mean sterile. I still had a chance of getting pregnant. Having a child out of wedlock is very uncommon and looked down upon. Even more than divorce. Because of that, shotgun weddings are actually pretty common. I was excited to be a mother and Liam was, to my surprise, excited to be a father. We decided to put aside our old grievances, be friends, and raise a child happily. I can say that I started falling in love with him through my pregnancy, but it was solidified after my birth. It was traumatic and I tore badly. Liam was such an attentive husband and father. We fell together so nicely it was hard to notice when he became my soul mate. Part of the reason I hated Liam was that the way we expressed love was too similar. I need quality time and attention, and he needed quality time and affection. There's no limit to the amount of time we want to spend with loved ones. Dave was an introvert and who valued time alone. When it was Dave in the middle, I felt as though Liam was stealing my limited time with him. Now it feels nice to have a partner that values and expresses the same kind of love. We are around each other constantly. Liam needs at least an uninterrupted hour a day and more on weekends of my attention solely on him. We could spend entire days just snuggling and kissing. We have an equal partnership. I do take on more of the mental load in terms of finances, investments, doctors, appointments, etc. But Liam acknowledges that and takes on more of the physical load. He insists that I do more. Well, I think he does. I'm not saying either of us are perfect or that our relationship, but I'm very happy with my lot in life. Story 3. Update. Am I the a-hole for threatening to divorce my wife if she doesn't discipline her son? Original post. I'm 45 male, am married to my wife, 47 female. We both have teen sons from previous relationships. Her son Noah, 14, and my son Spencer, 15. Spencer's biological mom, my ex, is a deadbeat who doesn't pay her child support and hasn't spoken to Spencer in years, while Noah's biological dad is very involved in Noah's life and takes him every other week. Noah's dad also makes a fair bit more money than either me or my wife, and this leads to Noah having nicer things than Spencer. Example, Noah has a fairly new iPhone while Spencer has an old model with a cracked screen. Noah's dad has promised to pay his way through college while Spencer works 2 part-time jobs by his choice to start saving up, but will still probably have to take out loans. Most relevant to our current problem, Spencer wears most exclusively second-hand and thrifted clothes, while Noah's dad buys him department store name brand clothes. Because of the difference in the way the two boys dress, Noah is taken to making fun of Spencer for looking like a hobo, like he crawled out of a gutter, and like trailer trash, just nasty, unnecessary, and in my opinion classless insults. It's not like Spencer doesn't put effort into his appearance either. We just don't have the money to fill his closet with $30 t-shirts and $75 pair of jeans. Now Spencer has a bit of a temper, and the difference between his things and Noah's things is a sore spot. As a result, the boys have gotten into several shouting matches and one major physical altercation. Spencer is tall for his age, and Noah hit puberty late, so it was more of a beatdown than a fight, though no one went to the hospital. I've spoken to my wife multiple times about disciplining Noah, but she insists that he's just doing it to get a reaction out of Spencer. And the solution is for Spencer to stop falling for it rather than any consequences or even a strong conversation for Noah. I may have accepted this if Noah was in elementary school, but he's a teenager, and a teenager needs to at least be told not to antagonize a stepbrother who he knows has outbursts. I have tried to talk to Noah myself, but he just says, "You're not my dad, you can't tell me what to do." And yes, I have talked to Spencer about keeping his temper in check. But at this point, it's not his fault when he's constantly being demeaned for something he has no control over. After the aforementioned physical incident, I gave my wife an ultimatum. Discipline Noah where I'm leaving. I told her that I couldn't keep my son in a home where he's constantly on edge because she refuses to parent her son. I told her that as a step-parent, I have a little authority over Noah, so it's on her to set him straight. She asked me if I was seriously considering divorcing her over the way that she parents her son, and I said yes. This isn't about her, but about protecting my son from Noah's bullying. She told me I was being manipulative, and that threatening divorce over every little thing is abusive. I tried to explain that this isn't a little thing, and she just told me to give her a few days to think things over. And I agreed to give her a week before I would contact a lawyer. Am I the a-hole? Now for the update. Update first off, as per everyone's advice on my last post, I've gotten in contact with a divorce lawyer and have begun to draft the papers. Whether or not they'll be filed remains to be seen. Second, I didn't think I'd be updating so soon, but there's been a major development, so here goes. Yesterday, Noah's father, who I'll be calling Mike, called me. We have each other's numbers, but we generally don't speak, so this was a surprise. The following is an approximation of our conversation. Me, "Hey Mike, what's up?" Mike, "Hey, my name, nothing much, but I'm calling about a fight our boys got into. Have you heard?" Me, "Oh yes, of course I've heard. Thankfully neither hurt bad." Mike, "Good. That's good to hear. Listen, from the way that Noah tells the story, your boy Spencer, attacked mine over some petty arguments over clothes. Now I know my boy can exaggerate, so I figured I'd call to get it from you." Me, "Yeah, well, now I don't mean to call Noah any kind of liar, but that's only half the story. See, lately your boy has taken to picking on mine because you can afford to dress him in more expensive clothes. Now I'm glad that Noah can have the clothes that he wants thanks to you, but he's decided that makes him superior to Spencer. Noah called him a hobo, trailer trash, told him he looked like he crawled out of a gutter, and said that he wouldn't be surprised if Spencer ends up on the street in 5 years. Mike, "Wait, really? Noah said that?" Me, "Yes, he did. Can't imagine where he learned to speak like that." Mike, "Not at my house, that's for sure, but continue." Me, "Right now my boy can have a temper, and I'm working on that with him, be sure. But Noah wouldn't listen when I told him to knock it off. There have been a few yelling fights, and then Noah swung, and well, the rest is history." Mike, "Wait, Noah swung first?" Me, "Yup, but the rest of the hits were Spencer's. I'll be honest, it wasn't a fair fight at all. Like I said, I'm just glad neither got hurt too bad, but let me be frank, your boy is causing problems in my house and needs to stop before he gets put in the hospital. Could you talk to him about it? Sherry won't, but her relationship is a whole nother deal. Mike, oh yeah, for sure I'll talk to him. And also, so long as no one goes to the hospital, feel free to let your boy set mine straight if you know what I mean. That's how I learned to stop being a mouthy little SHT. Maybe a little schoolyard justice will do the same for him. Me, thanks man, I appreciate it. I'll pass your message to Spencer, but honestly, I prefer less violence in my house. Anyway, I've gotta run. Mike, alright, but let's keep communicating about this. I'm so disappointed in Noah, and I apologize, but he's starting stuff with Spencer. Click. Anyway, Noah goes to Mike's place tomorrow, so hopefully his father can straighten him out. As for my relationship with my wife, I'll be having a serious sit-down with her soon. If we can't work things out, that lawyer of mine will come in handy, and yes, I did tell Spencer what Mike said about setting Noah straight, but made it clear that Spencer is not to start anything. But if Noah gets physical first, Spencer has my permission to shut him down.